Okie doke. So, hi. I'm. My name is Madeline. A lot of people call me Melon, so that's kind of what I'll go by here. Um, I don't really know. Well, no. I know what the goal of this is. I really just want to learn Godot because I think it will suit my needs for game development, and I have ideas for things. I want to be able to make them, but I'm not very good about finishing the things that I start. So this is a little bit of a video log just to tell myself like, hey, I should record for at least 2 hours a week and make some progress. And just keep track of what everything I've done, seeing if like, oh, I made a bunch of videos on working on the mechanics, but I kind of suck at pixel art, so maybe I should spend some time working on that. Just that sort of thing. Um, yeah. So I got a whole new setup going on here. Right now I'm at home, but normally I'm at college. So I will be doing that. I probably won't edit these videos at all. If there's any cuts, it's probably because I accidentally showed private information. But otherwise, I'm gonna leave it pretty like raw footage just because I don't know, I want to see like the real time development. So yeah, I think that's how this is gonna go. They should all have audio. I can't guarantee that I'll talk that much through recording, but yeah, I I really just want to keep track of it. I kind of tried to get into using monogame, but on Mac it's kind of tough. I have a PC. Why did I not just choose to use that? Because I'm at home right now and I don't have my PC with me. So, I've decided, you know what? No. I'll go with the game engine. I've seen people make really cool games out of this that are like on the scale that I want to make games in. So, in theory, I should be able to do this. Um, so yeah, let us oh my oh Jesus. Okay. Yeah, no, on that note, let's let's get started. Um yeah, we got the OBS up, we got the crispy audio going. Can this just like be up in the corner? Sure. A weird thing though is that my video output is like squished. Actually, maybe I'll keep recording and do that since I already did the intro in this. I might as well keep doing that. As you can see, I've been researching, you know. Um yeah, I need mm, what do I even do about that actually? Because how big is the screen capture? Whatever that ratio is. Okay. What the hell does that mean? Yeah, like, I definitely want to capture my display, but like half the screen is blank. Like, there's this whole section over here. And wait, I forget. Hmm. I was doing some test recordings earlier. Um, yeah, it just kind of has this black bar over here. Because pretty sure the output is 1920 by 1080, whether I want it to be or not. Um, actually, let me. Oh, that only helps like a little bit. You don't really need to see me opening applications at the bottom. I just want it to be all the way to the sides is the problem. Um, that's probably fine, I guess. I don't know. I just got a haircut and these pieces are really short now, and I'm not usually wearing my hair down, so I gotta like keep swapping them back. Um, I also don't know what channel I'm gonna make for this. Maybe I do a new one. Um, yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So Godot, where do I even freaking begin? Um, let's I guess let's browse YouTube. Um, um, survivors? What is this? Oh, it's Udemy. No, give me free tutorials. Ooh. Okay, I mean, these are always fun. It's not like super applicable. The problem is like, you're definitely gonna need like a inventory like grid building system for the thing I want to make. But there are a bunch of fundamentals in that are useful as well. Yeah, like components are important, classes are important. This seems important. I just need to like save a bunch of these links actually. Um, yeah, let me just have that open. Like, I feel like I should watch this. Um, oh wait, actually, so if I'm gonna show shit. If I'm gonna show other people's YouTube videos, I can't just be sitting here watching them. So that I will have to cut out. I just realized that. Cool. Yeah, here's the plan for this thing. Um, I wish I um, something like that. Um, yoink. Save that. Um, this feels important. Hmm. How to structure a game and manage uploads. And using classes. Hey. Oh, okay. Um, Maybe I should follow a beginner one because I do need like step by step. I've used Godot like a little bit before, but not that much. Um, Godot tutorial, 2D. I really like inventory. Mm, I almost watched this inventory video before. There's a whole series on that. There's 15 videos on slot-based inventories. Oh my god. Okay. I guess I need to think about. Okay, hold on. What do I actually want to make? Let's get that picture in mind. Whip out the old iPad. Get some screen mirroring going on. Um, so this is actually pretty neat here because I'm just moving my mic around. Um, I can actually fully just go on here, have a little whiteboard, be like, okay, so what do I, all right, so game premise. That's so cool. Um, yeah, what do we want the game premise to be? I really want to make my little process design game. I think it would be really fun. So I'm talking like A goes to B. You've got the output stream of B. You put it into like maybe like B and water. So you gotta like separate, send like it's a solid liquid separator. Send B there, send H2O off as like steam. Maybe like, yeah, no, we'll do 100C. Or solid. Let's do liquid gas. Liquid gas is much nicer to deal with. And so like you would go in, click on this, and be like, let me set the temperature to 100C, get the process flowing that way. You've got your B stream going here, and this one goes out. And so you get to see your little money signs as it's going. But I want the game to be more than this. Um, like a tank, and then it goes into there. So I want the game to be a lot more than that, because this is like what we do in class. It's this. I'm studying chemical engineering. It kind of sucks, I won't lie. I think it could be so much more fun. And I hate that all of my classes are kind of just like the most boring thing I've ever had the displeasure of doing. Um, Wait, this isn't centered. It is centered. What the hell? It doesn't look centered. Anyway, yeah, I don't know why anyone thought that was a great idea. It's just the way it's always been done. And so because it like kind of worked and people go through it and they know how to be chemical engineers, everyone's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But mental health is important, and also people like doing things that are fun. Maybe you'd have more chemical engineers of the world, like in such like a scarce position, if you actually made it enjoyable to learn and solve these problems. It's like, oh, the real world isn't like that. Well, it's like, well, but why suffer for 4 years when you could not suffer? So, yeah, I want to make fun little games that help you learn these things. And so in my last video, I kind of mentioned, or my last recording session, I guess, I kind of mentioned having an inventory like this, where you'd have like your little build tabs, and so you'd have maybe like separators, like seps. Like that's a whole class I have to take. It's just learning how to use these. So why not just have the class be built into like a game where you can see like, okay, here's all the different types of separators, instead of some teacher getting up there and being like, okay, here's your blackboard, and they're like, wah, 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 wah. Like, here's the separator one. Here's all the calculations that you do for separator one. Here's an example problem of separator one. Cool, moving on. We've got separator two. Like, this is how you make separator. It's so boring. It's so boring. So instead of doing that, you just have all the separators here and you're like, wow, I'm curious. I want to know what these do. I want to be able to use these. How, like, what parameters do they have? How do I set one of these up? You're having all these questions, and nobody asked you to have those questions about it. Nobody got up there and was like, you're going to learn separators now. Here's the information. Hope you retain it. It's all on you at that point to be learning it. And like you feel the drive to learn it because you're faced with, okay, I want to progress in this game. Let me check out Sure, this separator. It's called blah blah blah, like sure liquid gas, um like partial, who knows. Uh, so you take it out, you drag it onto the screen, and you're like, okay, cool. I've got this thing. Let me let me click on it. Let's and then it'll like pull up its little menu of explaining what this thing is, but probably just very briefly. It won't overwhelm you with information. It's just gonna give you the little bit of like what it's for. You're like, cool, cool, cool. Do I even need this right now? And then like most separators, you'll be like, okay, let me set the operating temperature, sure, 70°C, just a random number. Um, then you can have like I forget what it's called, but there's like a separator like coefficient thing, like how good the separator is at separating the things. Because for like a solid liquid one, that's really hard. So liquid gas you can get pretty good separation going, but for like a solid liquid one, you're gonna have some amount of that stuff still in the like liquid phase as it's leaving. And then the solid phase has some of the liquid phase in it because things stay wet. um so you've got whatever coefficient determines that, and then you're like, "Oh, how do I go about changing that? How like wow, that's really shit. How can I make that better?" You're curious enough to be like, "Okay, let me click on that thing and then pull up some other menu that's like, "Oh, hey, so glad you wanted to know more about why that thing is the way it is. Here's a little bit of math so that you can do the calculation. Boom. Like if you want to change this, just do the math and you'll get the right output." All of that happened out of your own accord because you were curious, not because someone was like, "I know you didn't give a shit or didn't ask. Here's all the information. Now go apply it to some problem that you have no reason to care about. You didn't make this problem. It was just handed to you," and you're like, "Oh, well." But when you're actually going into it and you're the one dragging and dropping, you're taking your little like reactor, dragging and dropping it there, and being like, okay, well, I want to make something. I want to make something happen so that I can make money. It's like, I love making money. So you drag and drop the thing, and you're like, I want to make this. Well, okay, I'll drop my little tank really straightforward, connect them up with a pipe, and then cool. So I'm making B. Oh, but it's all dissolved. Well, shoot. what am I what am I going to do about that? Or it's a mixture of things. So they're all liquid and they're miscible. So you're like, "Well, shit. What am I supposed to do?" And so then you look in your little toolbox here and you're like, like I still want to make this happen. Let me click around. Oh, yeah, let's grab a separator. Boom, boom. And you're like, "Hell yeah. I got money being made." Can I be making more money though? Probably. So what else? What other things do we have? Oh, we can drop this one in. Oh, okay, okay, so that one does that. Instead of you just sitting and listening to someone else tell you, this one does this one does this, just remember it. You get to remember it because you were the one putting them in the situation they're supposed to be in. You were the one contextualizing all of these things. And like that, people don't know how powerful that is for actually understanding things. So yeah, that's like the very basic premise, but I want it to be like a real game. So this is like the factory part of it, where you're making money. It would just be like a little tycoon game sort of thing. Um, but I would love for there to be like cute characters and like a very like soft vibe to it so that it attracts more than just like because like a game like Factory Factorio, I think it's called, very engineering minded, very much like grown-up physics like version of this, where you're doing a ton of automation. There probably is some math involved in order to make the most optimal factories, but it's very like it just looks like a drag. Like it doesn't look appealing at all. It's very like man engineer oriented, and I'm like, that's so I would love to go for a much more soft aesthetic, sort of like a think Stardew Valley farming simulator, very approachable. Because the whole point is that it's supposed to not be scary. This isn't like a super hard cut, like, blech. This is reaction engineering, process engineering. Who cares? Like, I'm not going to spend hours learning this. This is boring. But it's also a tycoon game. Do you know how long people spend just making money? Like, imagine being able to go out in the world and collect the things that you're making this for. Like, you're the one gathering these reactants. They could be like organic materials or something, so you could be going out and farming whatever you need for this. You could be going out and mining whatever you need for this. You could mine something to make a catalyzed reactor. Like a whole platinum like reactor, you would have to go out and mine that shit yourself. That's so heat. So, yeah, I really want to make this into a much larger game where you gotta take to the mines, you gotta farm things. It could even be a little more like fantastical, where you are farming like metals. And so, like, to make a farming simulator out of that, I think would be hilarious. Where you're farming for your factory, not for, I'm gonna sell these at the farmer's market. You're like, no, no, I need to farm materials to make my reactors and separators and pipes to then sell these chemicals on some market. It could even be like more fantasy, like sci-fi if you wanted to, where maybe on some planets you can. Wait, that's actually kind of heat though, to be on like an alien planet. Wait, I need to write this down. Alien planet where you can farm metals, metals and different reactants used in these reactions. So, like, it can be as complex as you make it. Like, the game's going to pretty much hand you the possible reactions, you just have to get the ingredients for it. But if you want to optimize it further, or like, why am I not making a lot of stuff out of this? Then it encourages you to be like, well, how do I speed this up? And man, like I mentioned this earlier, like the being able to think of like being curious about it, it does so much. It goes so far. And it's like I always had that curiosity about chemistry, which makes me able to retain chemistry a lot better when someone is teaching it to me. Because I'm actively sitting in class thinking, "Oh, well, how do you like how does that work? How like why is that way?" But for the vast majority of people, you get at most like one subject that's the case for you, and then everything else just falls into the why do I need to care? Why do I need to care? Like you're just finding some reason, and then people are like, "Well, you don't have to care. It's just for the money or it's just for whatever." It's like, "But there is a way to care." That's where it gets me, where I'm like, "But I can see that we could be caring about this. So why should we all just look away and be like, ah, I don't need to care. Like, I just need to get through it and then not enjoy what I'm doing ever for the sake of money?" It's like, but you could be enjoying it. And there's ways to get there. And I think this could be a way to do that. and to just make it more approachable on the whole and develop that curiosity in people and the love for learning. So yeah, anyway, um yeah, farm the reactants on some alien planet and then sell like you can make a whole plot out of this. Like you could be selling to like the people holding you captive and it's like if you make enough money for them, they'll let you go. Except that's not how capitalism works. They're just going to keep you trapped forever. Um sell to maybe it's an unknown character. Oh, hello, my Mac's dying. Um oh. That's my homework. Yeah, look at this boring shit. I did not enjoy this at all. It was terrible. But yeah, sell to maybe someone approaches you and is like, "Do this for me," and you're like, "No," and then they're like, "That was never an option." Um, what else? I do kind of like this like alien planet thing because then I can get really nice. Like I can get pretty creative with the setting. Like it could be very like purple skies, like womp 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 womp. Um, purple skies and like weird trees. I could also like fully make up my own reactions. That's just fully a cactus that I just drew. Um, the creativity's a little stunted here, but we made the sky purple, so we're doing the most. Um, but yeah, just being able to like say that the metals have like organic properties, even though that doesn't make sense at all. But it's like, screw you guys, this is how my game works. But it's gonna follow very real um properties from Earth. It's like you're not gonna use water to I can't use water. What do you to make the plants grow? To give them nutrients? I was gonna say you can't use water to water the plants. We're gonna use like benzene to water the plants, but that doesn't using the word water doesn't work. Um call it like to benzate the plants instead of like hydrate. Just hit him with a little bit of benzene. My benzene can. It's like doesn't even have to be a liquid. I could be like infusing them from the ground with gas. I could have like all the gas lines underneath just going up through the soil that's just not dirt. But yeah, the point is we could be growing a lot of crystals and things in the farm. Would it be super realistic? Perhaps not, but that's okay. Um, yeah, I quite like this idea. Okay, so now that we've brainstormed a little bit more, like this is what I want the core of the game to be. Like this is the learning that I want to instill in people. But it can't just feel like I want you to learn this stuff. It's gotta feel like I'm just playing a silly little game. I'm just doing my things, doing my stuff. I gotta, I'm gonna do my stuff. I like, you want to go out, farm the materials so that you can make money. It's like, why do so many people play Stardew Valley? Is it for the money? Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe they just like talking to people, but you still need money. And you want to make a lot of money. You want to optimize it just a little bit. And like each year you play the game, you're like, oh wow, that was really stupid. Why did I do it that way when I started? But that's like the fun of continuing playing the game. So yeah, like what would the character even look like? Like that's such a mystery to me. Of like, what little guy is gonna be doing all this. Because it's gotta be a little guy. It's gotta be some cute, approachable little guy. Could be green. I don't know if I like that though, because the green is not my favorite. Could be like nice, like cyan, like this kind of color. Mhm. Um, so he could be like a little, like if he's facing this way, like a little. It's giving Spike from My Little Pony, but that's okay. That's okay. Wait, pause, 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 pause. Spike MLP. Okay, so it was giving Spike from My Little Pony. But is that such a bad thing? He's not a dragon. He's just a little guy. So it could be something like that. I mean, that would be easy enough to make. Maybe. um, yeah. Or this is where like forcing myself to imagine a character is kind of hard. It just kind of has to happen naturally. Like, how did I think of this? I don't know. Train of thought. Where I was like, how are you going to get materials? You could mine them. And I was like, oh, that's so boring. Taking to the mines. I mean, the children yearn for the mines, but like, we could be mining for like way cooler things. Like, get the rare stuff in the mines, not the basic ingredients. Like, everything's from the mines. Ugh. So yeah, we're growing it. And how do you grow metals? Alien planet. Easy money. Let's see though. Although I'm probably gonna make this out of like pixel art because that's like the easiest way to make this happen. And so tilted lines are not the easiest to make. Although I don't know what like aspect ratio I'm gonna choose or size I'm gonna choose because it could be like much less or much more. I don't know why I did that before doing the background. Because they also won't have round eyes. They'll just be dots. But that's okay. Um, it could be much more like blocky. Where he kind of just like bobs up and down. I almost kind of like that. Where he's just very like, you know? Also, the fact that I just said he there, this is not a like one gender exclusive experience. I say little guy as gender inclusive here because being a little guy is for fucking everyone. I'm a little guy. You're a little guy. We can all be little guys. So this is a fella. Non-binary. This is completely gender non-conforming fella. All right? Why does that actually kind of sound like a name though? Make that a proper noun. Incredible. Um yeah. Do I have anything else to add right now? Um I think that's like the basis of it. I mean, obviously I have to figure out who is, but like That's the vibe I'm going for. Like some story, some amount of type of farming simulator kind of deal. What would the actual gameplay look like? Would it be like a top-down like this, and then fella's just there? There's fella. Um, and so you're making your farms, kind of like Stardew Valley. I think that would probably be the best medium, like that this would lend itself to. But oh my gosh, my iPad's at 100%. My my Mac is at 3%. That's not great. So this is gonna cut out soon. Like now. Oh shit. Hold on. Okay, I think that's it um for this. I'm gonna make myself larger here. Um, let me just here we go. Okay. Um, yeah. Yeah. I don't think okay, there we go. Um, yeah, I think that's gonna end today's video. Um, yeah, I recorded for like half an hour this morning. I kind of forgot to do an intro. Or well, I did do an intro, but it wasn't very good. Yeah, I guess that's it for today. Wow, is this really what 30 frames looks like? That's kind of terrible. I'll change that later. So, yeah, I that's the start of this little video series thing. I guess I can tilt this down a little bit. Um, I'm looking forward to actually learning Godot. This is much more of the like brainstorming process, figuring out getting some links down, but that's the gist of the game I want to make. And in order to do that, I need to go through so many tutorials. But I know it's possible. I know how to code already, so at least there's not like a huge barrier to entry. It's just there's so many tools and so many menus that I just have no idea what they do, and I like knowing what I'm doing. So we're gonna we're gonna freaking make it happen. I got the mic, we got the premise, we've got the idea. It's just up to me to actually start taking the steps to making it. So, yeah, I hope there's at least like one person out here that even decides to click on this video. But yeah, I mean, if you actually watched all of that, that's kind of crazy. I don't think it was that entertaining, but if you made it to this point, welcome. I'm gonna try to stick to my word and actually make this into a real thing. So let's rock and roll. Cheers. Bye.